Hello, welcome to Not Another Couples podcast for this week, and I have my normal co-presenter with me. No changes this week again.
Was that last week?
No, last week you were here.
Okay.
Just, in case people are wondering.
If I look like Flynn.
They might be wondering.
He
They
doesn't
may
look
not
like
be
me.
watching, they may just be listening.
Do I sound like him?
Because we've got sound, we can watch it on YouTube, you can watch it on listen to all podcast channels, but you can see us.
Facebook. What was before Facebook?
There was something else, but space something, wasn't it?
What was it?
I don't know.
When
Going
you
back
had to
in
dial
time.
up the internet.
Back in time, way back in time. Well, we've had a little family time. It's been a bank holiday weekend, so we've had Amber back for a bit.
Nice.
So we took the opportunity to go and see the film that seems to be on everybody's watch list at the minute, or interest, which is Michael Jackson film. Flynn had already seen it, to be fair, and he loved it so much he wanted to watch it again, so that was a good sign. So took the whole fam, and
I love a cinema, but I'm not very good with other people.
No,
there's always someone. We had a kid next to us who just kept eating and tapping his foot.
I think also people are used to watching films at home more now, like Netflix and stuff. So they can just think they can stop and start, and they're not in their own environment. They forget that there's other people they've paid a shitload of money.
I just think some people just don't care.
No, I mean, there's always been people who don't care, like rustling, and I mean, why you have to have 50,000 snacks in a cinema anyway? I really don't understand.
Well, I get
the constant rustling.
That,
yeah, but people go in and they have
crisps and nachos and
half their body weight in popcorn and snacks. I'm like, eat. You don't have to just sit and eat the whole way through. That's what's annoying. Eating. The noise of people rustling packets and eating. Like Flynn kept trying to eat a sweet, but he'd do it the really quiet bit. I'm like, shh, shh, shh. Wait until there's a noisy bit to rustle your packets.
Dance moves.
Anyway, it was very good. Did you like it?
I thought it was outstanding. I was more impressed. Obviously, we've grown up with Michael Jackson, and now there's been, they call biopics. So we've had Elton John, we've had Freddie Mercury. Has there been any other?
Tina Turner one.
Johnny Cash, I guess. Tina Turner. There haven't been any of. So Elton John is
Elvis.
Elvis. Oh yeah, of course.
He's quite a big name.
Elton John is the only one that they've done who's still alive. They haven't done anyone like Bruce Springsteen,
was Tina
have
Turner
they?
Still done when she was alive?
Okay.
I think just maybe.
I mean, I was so impressed with. Obviously, this was produced by the Jacksons. No Janet in it, as you pointed out.
Well, okay, we'll get to that. But I think that was produced by, or executive produced by
Jacksons.
A couple of the brothers who obviously had major input. One probably being Jermaine Jackson's, his son, Jafar, plays Michael in it. I mean, there's loads of stuff out there on it, but there's not going to be any major spoilers because most people know
the story.
The outline, I think, of their family upbringing and his story. But what I found was, we know his father was really controlling and quite abusive generally, and specifically to him, because he was the youngest and probably easier to, and also the major talent in the family, which sort of, it's like, come on, this poor kid, if we're led to believe exactly what happened, obviously they're trying to show it in the film, at age 6, he was didn't go to school anymore.
Yeah.
And he was literally doing shows, performing. And then later on, they sort of pretend he's younger than he is a bit, just because that's sort of a selling factor.
But the young kid that plays him as a young kid, who obviously was an actor and was at stage school or something beforehand, his voice.
Yeah, and he did all the singing, which was incredible.
It's like, you close your eyes and you go, and even if they had tweaked it slightly, whatever, but he was phenomenal.
Yeah. And also, I think because there's been this Thriller musical or, Michael Jackson musical, there's lots of people who are Michael Jackson impersonators. And having looked up some stuff, obviously it's just stuff constantly on my feed now, having watched it, of how they cast the people for the film. And I think I can't remember the name of the guy, it's really annoying me now, but he did the Bohemian Rhapsody film produced, and he was involved in this one as well. Okay. And he had meetings. So I've heard Jafar Jackson chat, and obviously said that he had meetings. He'd never acted before. He'd never done anything like that. Obviously, he's grown up in a performing family.
So Flynn showed me a photo of Jafar, what he looks like normally without prosthetics, and he looks a bit like Michael Jackson did at the end.
Yeah, he looks very much like his dad, Jermaine Jackson. If you look at him and his dad, they look really similar. Okay.
Because I was like, I couldn't quite get. I know there's prosthetics and amazing makeup, but when he first starts, he looks like Michael Jackson used to before he had his nose job still, and so on. But yeah, the quality of his dancing.
No, so going back to, just going to go back to what he was saying about him not ever acted before.
Yeah.
And how he was cast for the role. Because obviously there's loads of people out there who do amazing impersonations, but of Michael Jackson, obviously in his later years, sort of post-Thriller stuff, where he'd had all the procedures done. And obviously there's a whole backstory in the thing, which a lot of people do know, but the backstory in the film about why he started having his nose done to start with, because his dad makes lots of comments about it early on.
Yeah.
And obviously he calls his dad Joseph, doesn't call him Dad. So there's like the massive sort of divide, even from a very young age. But so Jafar Jackson got cast in it, even though he hadn't had any acting experience, whatever. And he just said, look, let me try. So he basically gave him 6 months to worked with an acting coach and tried to perfect, the mannerisms, and he spent 2 years training. I've just seen stuff of him doing loads of physical training and stuff with a PT who trains people for particular roles to make sure he's strong, because he was going to be doing like 5-6 hours dancing a day, probably when they're filming. So the physicality of it, and and he worked with Michael Jackson's original choreographers, so he could get all the timing and all the syncopation and all that sort of stuff that he does in all his stuff.
Syncopation?
Yes, that's sort of like with
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so it's like the timing.
Synchronation?
Syncopation.
Oh, I like that.
Where he gets all his little movements and all his little
ants in his pants
stuff. And they've actually shown some really cool stuff on Instagram where they've had the two like stacked above each other.
Oh, split screen.
Yeah, and literally just showing the timing. It's just
he's phenomenal. Amazing. I mean, I know it was produced by the Jacksons, so it paints him. The whole thing about Jackson, when you listen to Michael Jackson's song, is there's always a little hint in the back of your mind about how he ended up and all the kids stuff. But the way he's portrayed in the film, and I know it's produced by the Jacksons, but the way he's portrayed in the film is he's non-sexual. But
it's part one, so they only go up to like mid-90s in it.
What had he just done? The Bad album, hasn't it?
So they haven't got to when I feel he went even more like off the rails. But if you look at the lifestyle and look at who he ended up, he married Lisa Marie Presley. They got married, and to be fair, they both had the weirdest upbringings probably in this like super fame, super like, literally they weren't their own person. They were so, Michael Jackson was slightly different, but he was never a child. He was just always a child star, and she was probably just thrown into like, you're Elvis's daughter. You're gonna, who do you trust? They don't know who to trust. So sort of coming together as people that live in this, have to live in their own little bubble, I suppose, in their world. They can't go out anywhere. They can't go anywhere normal. They can't just go to the shops and, there's stuff early on where he goes with his bodyguard and stuff, and he's just immediately, and that's really early on in his career. It's not like later on.
I like the bodyguard.
He was good.
And that's a true story? Did the bodyguard stay with him throughout?
He stayed with him but he died in like 2003 or 2005 or something.
Okay.
Again, you don't know. There was obviously, they did fall out at some point. So I think he stopped working with him after a while, late 90s or something. But that's the thing, if you look at all these people who are successful, you look at Elton John, they've always had Elvis, all these people, they've had these people who obviously they make an enormous amount of money and success. So they attract people who are going to try and,
whether it's a manager or
a parent, like Britney Spears, all these child stars who've just been like
you and your mum
stratospheric.
See?
Yeah, my mum. Yeah. Because I was a child star.
Yeah, she didn't let you
go
out. Just at tomatoes, ketchup sandwiches.
Well, that was me getting that. But they go stratospheric. So then the money side of things so obscene and quick that they have people that then they don't know who to trust. Who do they trust? They trust these people who are around them because they think they're looking after them, because they're so busy off doing their music and performing in a studio. They leave all the other stuff to other people.
That's what we've talked about before. If you're in let's say you're in U2, everyone knows Bono. everyone knows what's his name as the guitarist.
The Edge.
The Edge. Actually, if he walked past me, I don't know if I'd know.
So I think I would know him because he always wears like a little beanie.
But imagine being in one of these groups where.
Well, it's like they say the drummer in Coldplay, or whatever.
What phenomenal! You're doing what you love. You're brilliant at what you do.
You get to go on stage and perform, but you can just literally go to Asda
you can still wear your budgies and go out walking along the
snow
beach
and make snow angels if you want.
If you want to.
But then that would go viral, and people would probably go, "Oh my god, that is the drummer from Coldplay."
Yes, they'd recognise him by his crutch.
He's very cold in the snow.
Yes, and he plays.
Yes.
That's why they were called Coldplay.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Jacksons are very interesting. And then, like you mentioned earlier, halfway through, I suddenly went, hang on a minute, where's Janet Jackson? She's not in it. People, no spoilers, but she's just not in the film.
I didn't realise there were 10 kids.
I think there was 10, I think there was 9 alive. I think there was...
How many were in it?
They had twins and only one survived.
Okay, 6 were in it, weren't they, in the film? Jackson 5 and LaToya.
And then Michael. Oh, no, Michael was in the 5, wasn't he? Yeah. But yeah, so there was a couple that apparently didn't want to be involved. You know, maybe they disagreed, thinking it was just going to be a money spinner and people would, you know... There's obviously, you know, in a family that big, there's always going to be...
I assume the father's not alive anymore.
No, a massive load of people. The mum is still.
Is she?
Yeah, she's 96 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw a clip. And then, you know, LaToya Jackson is one of the sisters.
Yes. Does she get a lot of treatments done?
She looks exactly like Michael did right at the end, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
what's Janet?
Scale. Janet apparently is... I think she's had some work done, but she's apparently touring again or doing some other stuff.
Everyone's touring again.
But they keep saying that she's... Well, I think some of the older brothers still tour as the Jacksons or whatever. You know, but it's their life. They don't know what else to do. I don't think they know.
Well, also,
they don't know any other life.
Good at what they do.
And also, if it's successful, why not? You know, people want to come and see them, and they enjoy performing.
Yeah.
Why not? I say.
No, it was a very good film.
Really good film.
It was my favourite out of all of the other. I thought the Elton John one is very good. But yeah, I thought it was very good. I didn't realise.
I think the Elton John one is as sad as, you know, parts of his life are. It's quite comedic. It's quite funny.
Yes, they do.
Because he hams himself up, and
the scenes
Taron Egerton's very good at playing that sort of role.
Yeah.
And hamming it up a bit, and obviously being quite sassy.
But yeah, you do. You can't help but feel for Michael Jackson, the way he was brought up, and just sitting in his room with wanting to play Twister when he already must have been.
Yeah, it's just wanting to be a kid.
Nothing wrong with naked
and I
Twister.
think that is, you know, whether you believe or don't believe, you know, the hype, whatever's coming out, or what does, you know, there's lots of stuff again connecting him with Epstein, but, you know, again, people are defending him, saying, well, he was looking at houses, and one of the houses, wherever he was looking, he wanted to live near Barry Gibb, and one of the houses looking at was owned by Epstein, and obviously, like everybody wants a photo of Michael Jackson when they meet him.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So there's a photo of Michael Jackson and Epstein standing outside his house. But who knows? Who can prove, you know?
Who knows? Well, it can be proved because Peter Attia was caught with 1,700 emails.
Yes, it can be proved. And they're saying also, you know, it's another conspiracy theory that Michael Jackson was done in because he was going to talk about all the stuff. There's a few clips of him talking at award ceremonies and talking about Mariah Carey's ex-husband, who was very controlling and powerful.
It's like you and me.
She was very young, but she was really young, much younger than him. And how he abused and controlled lots of people in the music industry. And so I think for that, you know, you've got people like that speaking out, and there's lots of clips of him that are coming out now, which are actually him speaking, saying, you know, obviously whether he was going to expose what was going on or knew anything, or people in the industry. Who knows?
But every industry, everyone, there's always shite going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, there is shite going on, but I think there's a lot of very... But I just find, you know, there's a lot of powerful people, but you think Michael Jackson would hold a lot of power to people as well. Like in part of the film where he wants to be on MTV.
Yes, and as a black actor,
performer,
they wouldn't.
So, you know, they withheld all the other ones. What
record label was he? RCA? No. But he, at the time, that record label had Springsteen, who else did he have? Billy Joel. He had like massive, and he said, right, just pull them all out.
Yeah, you can't play any of them unless you play
Yeah.
Billie Jean or whatever it was his first track.
And then MTV.
Because Michael Jackson liked making films. He liked making... And I feel all of his songs, although they're quite... Well, appear to be quite, like, sexual or, like, you know, just normal sort of relationships or status. He'd never really had, I don't feel, a relationship. So...
Bubbles.
But he watched TV, he watched films, he watched, like, stuff with his mum, you know, mum. It's almost like everything came from his imagination. So the Thriller thing... In theory,
but he was he was Vincent Price.
So everything came from his imagination and inspiration from films or genres.
He was a mimic, wasn't he?
That's what I mean, from genres of other things. So he didn't. It's not like Thriller's like it's not like he went on a date and then they walked past the graveyard and it was all a bit scary and then he went, oh, this is a good idea for a song.
No, he'd seen the Vincent Price and then he was because Cary Grant he loved dancing, and then he loved Marcel Marceau, so
and
he could do
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, so he could do. He even did some of that in his dance moves.
So he drew from inspiration just from his own little world, I think, and his imagination. And then the Dirty Diana is apparently written about Diana Ross because he was obsessed with her and thought that she had mutual feelings or whatever it was with him. And he got jealous because there were some awards. And this is, you know, again, that she kept hugging and schmoozing with people that she thought were influential. Yeah. And he was like, hang on a minute, I thought you liked me. So he was basically like a little kid who'd just been spurned. So he wrote Dirty Diana about her.
Oh.
Although Princess Diana apparently used to think that was not about her, but she liked that song.
Did she? Well, you would, wouldn't you?
It's got a name in
it.
Yeah. What's your favourite Jackson song then?
I didn't really like the era from Bad onwards. It all went a bit strange. I mean, I still like Off the Wall album was brilliant, but then the Thriller album, I mean, there was like
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. All killer,
no filler. Yes.
Don't Stop Till You Get Enough off.
I like
Off
Pretty
the Wall
Young Things.
But off the Wall, and then it's weird because Thriller album I used to listen to over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And obviously, the more like upbeat ones appealed to me when I was a bit younger. But then you actually listen to some of the more mellow ones. Like Amber loves Human Nature.
Oh.
When they came out, you were a bit like,
what's the one where
when you're like 13, you don't want to just sit there and go,
yeah. What's the one where he's getting blown over? The wind. It builds up brilliantly.
The Earth Song.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's quite. It gets quite.
I saw a clip of him. Again, it's been everywhere, and I've been absorbing it all. You know, the last because he was about to do some more shows before he died.
Well, he wasn't. Wasn't he? Or...
He was rehearsing to go on.
That's it.
Yeah, he was rehearsing to do some more shows, and so there's clips of him rehearsing, literally like 12 hours before he died or something, or the day before, and him singing that on stage, like just rehearsing his like walking where he's going to stand, not dancing full out, but like singing that live.
You've got to question the doctor that was allowing him to have.
Apparently, he wasn't sleeping. Allegedly, that's like me last night, but not for some ridiculous length of time. He didn't sleep very well. He didn't really eat much. You know, he was obviously not very well person anyway. But apparently he didn't sleep, so he was getting given lots of drugs and things like that to help, like, instigate sleep, which obviously then he wasn't actually getting proper sleep.
Right.
So there was a long period of time. And obviously maybe just had other things to keep him up, you know, awake and then asleep at certain times, which just... messed him up.
Because
he's moving around fine.
Robin Williams
not very well, but he's moving around a lot and he's doing stuff. It's not like he's suddenly...
Robin Williams was addicted to the same painkillers, and he said it's... I mean, he went through all sorts of drugs. And
but I think he was very...
Yes, but he was saying, but he was saying that how powerful this drug was quite frightening compared to anything else he'd ever taken. I was going to say Hypnol, but it wasn't date rape. I can't remember what it was. But anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a sad... Well, it's not a sad story, but... Yeah. You realise... You can moonwalk, couldn't you? I could never moonwalk.
Yeah, but there's different... I've seen lots of people do it. His way is very distinctive. And he got together, like... Did you learn it from, like...
wasn't it the Crips, or I can't remember, one of the LA gangs that he got together.
They were doing like body popping type of stuff, wasn't it?
There was body popping, and there was that was basically the start of breakdancing.
And then he just did it at one show, and it just learnt that bit. I think the circular one he learnt from the breakdancers, and then the walk across the stage was his sort of thing.
Yeah, I couldn't go. Do you remember when he used to go up onto his toes? I used to try and do that one. You know, where he hold that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the gravity.
Oh, the lean.
Sway.
Yeah.
They keep showing things of like how they put these like special things in their heels or like magnets that keep them.
Oh, see, my old housemaster.
Because if you watch the stage where they
do,
they go across to one side, and I think there's a special bit of the stage that's got like magnets in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, so how they do it?
You can't do the.
My old housemaster, massive calves, and he used to lean, and we'd look at him profile, he'd be like, "How the hell?" Well, it wasn't quite that much, but how the hell did he lean? He'd lean, and like when he's telling you off, he'd be like, "Jesus." Very talented.
It's like that bloke we see running, walking.
Oh, he's a backward leaner.
That's so weird. How? I can't do that with that. You'd have to fall over.
He's a backward leaner. There's an Italian saying,
There's a guy who just walks around where we are, and...
Yeah, he just leans back, and he's got no glutes. Got no glutes.
That's so weird. That's the difference between Michael Jackson and Jafar, his... Glutes. There's been a lot of female attention on Jafar's glutes after watching the film.
Oh.
Well, back in
How old is he?
80s, no one gave a toss about glutes so much back then.
How old is Jafar?
He's late 20s.
Is he?
28, 29, something like that.
Very good.
But obviously, he was training. He was doing physical, sprint training, like single leg plyos and hops and dance stuff and balance work, and to get him strong to be able to dance for that. But he's obviously he's got a different build. I mean, he's quite slight human, but not as tiny as
MJ.
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was at the end, I don't think. Anyway, but yeah, that scene at the end, he's wearing, like, it's not a spoiler, don't worry, black and white trousers. There's a lot of girls just rewatching that. I've seen showing themselves watching it, going,
look at those.
Don't remember Michael Jackson having buns,
glutes of steel,
glutes like that. So there we are. It's all good.
Yeah, it was very good, very good.
But you sort of, because they do go through, a lot of these sort of films, they don't always, not these films, but like sometimes we go and see a musical, they don't necessarily have the rights to play all the music. So they play a few bits on it, but obviously this was all about him, so it was all his songs and how he supposedly wrote them and created them. And
yeah, no, it was very good. I was thinking like prodigies, and obviously he was a child prodigy. Who is a child prodigy, or who is a prodigy at the moment within our lifetime? Trying to think of sports people, actors, singers.
Well, Justin Bieber was really young, and Billy.
Well, I guess Taylor Swift, but that's partly because of her production and her skills on that front as well.
She wasn't a child. Say she was a child star. I think she was like.
Okay, who's a prodigy? I guess they're all talking about this young Australian sprinter, Gout, who's doing the same times as Usain Bolt. I'm trying to think of other sports people who are just like leagues above. There's no one really in tennis.
Tom Daley was really young when he went to the Olympics first.
True.
Competed and won stuff.
True, really, but you know when someone just comes on the scene and is the best in the world.
But I think back then, obviously, you had to be seen to do it. I think now it was much rarer, I think, back then, to do sports stuff like that. I mean, there's probably people academically who are, child prodigies, geniuses.
Chess
do you remember, there was a program, what was it, That's Life, with Esther Rantzen back in the day, and they'd always find some kid who was doing, university at age 11 or something,
just
or
finished
they'd
his
put them
degree,
on, and talk to them or whatever, really, really super smart.
But I was trying to think of, in the music world now, I'm going to guess Adele, she was phenomenal.
Yeah, but they were still like 19, 20. They weren't performing at like age 6 or 8.
Yeah, true.
Charlotte Church was another one. She was,
back
in the day, obviously, she was really young when she was singing opera. I suppose the other ones you see, sometimes you see them on like X Factor or Britain's Got Talent, where they have these kids.
Susan Dorr.
They don't she wasn't a child prodigy.
Boyle. Susan Dawes. Another Susan. Is Boyle or Doyle?
It's Boyle.
Boyle.
I don't know. Anyway,
She was prodigy.
Do
Do you have to be when you say prodigy? It doesn't have to be a child prodigy.
Well, you're talking about a child prodigy.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about any prodigy.
You were talking about young.
No, I said no. Any prodigy now.
What do you just?
Basically, they just stand. They stand so far above everyone else in what they do.
Yeah, but have they progressed? Or they suddenly appear? They suddenly wake up one morning. They've been an accountant their whole life. They've never sung in public. They've never done anything, and they go to karaoke down the local pub, and suddenly they're like this amazing. It doesn't have to be
singing, Susie.
Well, I'm just giving you an example. Wow. This is an example.
No, thank you.
Or they suddenly wake up and go, "Oh yeah, I'm going to beat Usain Bolt in 100 meters.
You
going to run for the bus."
You could be a spelling prodigy. Spelling prodigy.
Oh yeah, but there's some words that really
onomatopoeic
flummox me.
Ooh,
do you know when
word.
I try and spell words, I see it? Do you do that?
Yes, everyone does that.
But you still don't spell them right.
Yeah, but you
see it wrong. Yeah. I see it, the words, the letters, and all the syllables in my head, and then I spell it out loud. So what word did Amber ask me to spell the other night?
Jodhpur.
No, silhouette.
Oh yes.
Silhouette. Immediately the word is there in my head, visual.
I was listening to Miriam Margolyes.
Miriam Margolyes.
Gosh, I got it wrong. She was on the Ramesh Ranganathan podcast, and she's very funny. But she loves her language. She loves the English language. That's what the best thing she says.
Do you know who I'd like to see have a conversation? That her and Stephen Fry would be hilarious conversation. Although you said she did footlights or whatever, and they wouldn't let her do it.
Yeah, it wasn't Stephen Fry. It was the two
era
of the
before that. Isn't
yeah,
she?
It was two of the Monty Python. Was it John? John Cleese, and I can't remember who the other one. But they just completely blanked her. Didn't let her come to the after party and whatever. And she brought it up with him again much later on. Said he's not a funny man, so it's okay. He's a horrible man. But yeah.
She called him the C word, but we're not allowed to say that on this podcast.
Yeah, she does. She does drop C-bomb occasionally.
It sounds polite because she's so posh when she says it.
She
does love to fart as well.
She doesn't want to be purely known as a fat farty lady.
Well, she's got to stop talking about it on podcasts then.
Well, she just says
pretty much every interview I've heard.
She does do a little fart.
She says, "Oh, I really need to fart."
Yes, but yes, very funny. So I was trying to think of any other prodigy. Doesn't have to be child. Music, academia. See, you never say it in business. Elon Musk or someone, but you never say it in business. See, like Bezos, who's hugely successful.
But Elon Musk is probably one of those out of nowhere type of weird people that.
Yes, I'm sure he was an outlier, wasn't he, in terms of his academic and.
The people like Bill Gates, all those people who've just insular and they've invented something amazing in our lifetime, basically, because most of the other major inventions were done way before our lifetime.
Yeah. Wasn't there was he a Liverpool player who played at 16? Was he Liverpool? Young lad had played. Yeah. I don't know if it happens as much now. I think everyone, the exposure to everything is...
Well, that's what I was trying to say way back.
Why didn't you say it then?
I did try to say it, but you rudely interrupted me as usual. Mm-hmm. Is that they are seen. You can promote yourselves more because of social media or the internet or clubs or whatever it is, or scouts. People are trying to find the next big thing. So people are looking for it more. Whereas I think back then...
Me? Is it too late for me?
Well, you said you don't have to be a child prodigy. What are you going to be really good at?
Everything.
Well, what? You have to pick one.
No, because that's my prodigy. So they say, what are you good at? Yes, I'm good at that. Spelling.
Not so much.
Being a pain in the arse. Hyperactive.
You're not hyperactive. You're just
active.
Energetic.
Okay.
I'd say mostly, unless it's after 8:30 p.m. and then we're not.
No, I'm about 9. About 9.
Say that.
Okay.
What else are you good at?
Dance moves. The worm.
No, not the worm so much.
Doing the glug glug noise.
And
boring.
I would say the rope dance is probably way above the worm for you.
And then the old...
He's pretending to go. I bought him a glug jug. Has anybody seen these? They're these fish.
Glug. Yes.
Fish. I suddenly went, I've said fish, is it an actual fish?
It's a
Shape of a fish, jug. And we quite obviously had to get yellow because it's your favourite colour.
Obviously.
And as you poured it, it didn't glug. And I was like, oh my God, I've got a defect glug jug.
No, but when you get it right.
So it's not actually when you pour it, it's when you tip it back.
No, and both on the pour.
But you have to have the right amount of water.
Yes, you do, Susie. Yes, you do.
Yes. So that was the issue.
So that's my other
problem. We either had
prodigy,
too much water or too little water. You've got to have the medium
and
amount.
I keep having reoccurring dreams about working with wood. I'd like to be a wood turner.
That's just because your boyfriend Dan works with wood and he's at Grand Designs, or was it Grand Designs last weekend?
No, more like Johnny Parker, who makes salt and pepper shakers out of wood and bits of wood he's found.
You need to go and hang out with your friend Simon as well then. I think you'd quite like to make decking and tree houses though.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Well then you need to
give up work.
Go in competition with Dan.
Or go into business with my boyfriend.
So many boyfriends called Dan, I get confused.
Yeah, got Golfer Dan, Woodwork Dan, Ginger Dan. Any other Dans?
There's another Ginger Dan you went to school with.
Yeah. There's
just so many.
Mark and Dan Daniels. Mark, there's a lot of Marks in the late 60s, 70s. Yeah, I know.
Very common.
Very
I
common.
don't think there's anyone called Mark in our kids.
No, no one's called Mark
They're all called
anymore.
Max or what's the other one that everybody's called?
Alfie.
Yeah, they're all
Wills. There's quite a few Wills.
Max, Will.
Yeah. Nathaniels.
The girls are all like Izzy, Wizzy, Fizzy, Dizzy.
Dizzy's a good one. Ziggy.
Ziggy. We know someone called Ziggy.
Well, there we are.
Okay, well, that's that. Go and watch Michael if you haven't seen it. Even if you have changed your view, lots of people wouldn't listen to his music after all the stuff came out, but it's iconic, amazing performing music, regardless of what you necessarily think of him in his latter years.
And old Quincy Jones.
Quincy
Phenomenal.
Jones, amazing. But yeah, it's just a really good, film. And if you like his music, definitely go and watch it. Because they play a lot of that. They play a lot of that. They do.
They do, Susie. Because it's called Michael, so they play
it's
a lot
about
of Michael
his music.
Jackson.
It's not just him and his family life at home. It's a lot about his performing and.
Thank you, Susie.
That's it. Thank you. It's like watching a concert. I actually saw him at Wembley Stadium. Thank you.
Oh, I missed him.
Back in the day.
Couldn't see David Bowie either.
Back in the day. He was literally a tiny little dot because we were way up at Wembley Stadium. But
was he good?
It was, amazing. I was quite young.
What tour was that?
It must have been Thriller because it was.
Was it?
80s. Yeah. Because it was 80s.
You're only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, people, have a great week and see you next week. Bye bye.